Shadowland. They've got fire, they've got style, they make chaos look worthwhile. Partners in crime, heartbeats aligned, together they're one of a kind. They're the couple that slays together, storming the world, it's now or never. Back to back through thick and thin, in the game of life they always win. Blazing trails, leaving legends behind. Love so fierce, it's one of a kind. We're the couple that slays together. Oh.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Couple That Slays Together. I'm Katie,
Hey, and I'm Brandon.
and we are so excited to bring you the second interview for our channel, the one and only Kimmy the Candy Girl from Purge election year, Brittany Mirabilé.
Oh yeah, Brittany's awesome. I reached out to her on Twitter years ago. Because after watching that movie and seeing all the merchandise that they've put out for her, I was like, you know what? I bet you she'd be great with cons. And so we linked up immediately on Twitter. She gave me a call. I was like, yeah, I want to do them. So, with that enthusiasm, we got to see a lot of that in this interview. Just a real joy to talk to. I think you had a really good time talking to her too.
Yeah, it's a great interview. We got some behind the scenes of her audition process, the thought process behind developing the character, details about the mask that I personally had not heard before.
Yeah.
So we're so excited for you guys to see this and experience this. And without further ado,
Yep.
here's our interview with Brittany Mirabilé.
So here's the tattoo in person. I don't know if you can see it.
Shit. I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
It's the outline and some of the shading.
T-shirt. It's like, I feel like I should have worn mine. I feel like I should like brought the mask.
Yeah,
You
for
go
sure.
to the room and grab the mask and
Yeah.
just like hold it and talk with it.
Do you see? We got art set up here with your mask and the Funko and everything.
And I was thinking too, I was like, should I wear two? And I was like, nah, I'm in a one bun mood right now.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Hey, so I guess we can go ahead and get started. So before we dive into the Purge election year, let's dive into your origins. If you're comfortable talking about it, what was your childhood like, and what got you into acting?
I was very imaginative. Like, for a lot of my childhood, I mean, like, I had cousins and stuff, but like I didn't have any siblings until maybe I was like 11.
Yeah.
Before like my sister was born. So for a majority of my childhood, so much of my playtime was like imaginative. Like I would go outside, I would be in my grandmother's living room, jump around on couches, and then the floor was lava. Like all these things were just like, it's just I kept myself busy, and my mind was very much a part of that.
Yep.
And even with that, like I wrote a lot of short stories. Like I was really always into arts and creativity.
Yeah.
When it became acting wasn't until like I was in middle school.
Okay.
And I feel like then it was more of like I feel like it was a direction for me to kind of have an outlet for all the extra emotions that I was feeling around that time. Because I feel like when you're going through like adolescence and go through your teen years, you go through it and you feel everything incredibly deeply.
Yeah.
And, like not saying, like, things were horribly hard, but I feel like those are really tough years in your life.
Sure.
I think for anyone, for no matter like what background, like your middle school and high school years are pretty tough.
Yeah.
And you're very aware of your place in this world. Where do you fit? Where do you not fit?
Yep.
And I had a lot of opinions and a lot of anger.
Yeah.
Like a lot of anger. And
Had to have helped with
luckily, what up?
that had to have helped you with Kimmy.
No, right? Like Kimmy. By the time I got there, it was actually kind of funny because people were like, I didn't know you could be so vicious. So I guess, yeah, some of that repressed anger got to come out. What's up, finally played Kimmy? But like, I had teachers that saw the love of creativity in me.
Yeah.
And kind of like nudged me towards things and try to introduce me towards things. Like I had one teacher that introduced me to like a youth group that made original theater, and I joined them, and that was so much a part of the shaping of me being an actor, but also shaping me as a person.
Sure.
Because it happened in those critical like development years. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. I was an angry kid that got pushed into theater.
I get that though. I mean, we grew up church kids. We kind of went through our own thing, so it's happens to all of us in certain ways. Whether it's
Yeah.
things like that. So
And it's really important, I feel like you said, during middle school and high school years, they're so formative, but to find something as an outlet. And if you're already kind of leaning to creativity and things like that, to be able to, it's great that you had support like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really lucky that I had support. I really like because my mom was also kind of like she's into dance and she kind of like creativity, but she didn't really like pour into it as much as like I ended up growing up to do. But it was like a big influence to me that I was like, oh, you used to like you used to like to dance, you should do it. Like it was just an interesting stepping stone along my journey versus doing that and just seeing like, oh, okay, well, creativity just can fall off the sky. Like, my mom likes to be creative and da da da, and then she just always kind of was always like supportive in a way. It was like, okay, yeah, you want to draw here, art supplies. Hey, okay. Oh, you wanna write poetry? Here's some notebooks. And I used to like, yeah, bounce around,
yeah,
draw
Good
as a
job.
kid,
That's awesome.
turned into poetry, turned into theater. So yeah,
yeah,
it was always there.
good. So like, what as an actress, like when you started getting into it, what drew you to the role of Kimmy, in the Purge election year?
Ooh. By that point, I had already started auditioning professionally.
Yeah.
And when my reps at that time submitted me and I got the breakdown, I got, the sides and everything, I read it. And it was unlike anything they'd ever submitted me submitted me for before. So I was I was like really excited because I don't in real life, these beeping. Sorry, y'all. I'm black. I don't change the batteries in my bass.
It's okay.
He's got like a cleaning.
But yeah, nah. Like at that point, I hadn't played anything like that and hadn't given the opportunity to play any role that's like the mean girl. Cause like when people meet me, like people know me. That I'm really playful. I'm silly. Like I'm the nice one. I'm the one people like my friends always tell me like, girl, you're too nice. You're too nice. Stop being so nice. So when this came around, I was like, ooh, I get to, sink my teeth into this. And I had so much fun with it. But I really wasn't, I really didn't expect to take like a swan to water with this one. Like I didn't think it was going to be like so, but like once I started really working on it, so much jumped from the page into my imagination reading it.
Sure.
And I had so much fun with it. I took so much creative, ideas in just the few pages that I had and like the 3-minute audition that I had. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna have the knife, and I'm gonna wear my hair like this. Like it was just so much just came to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the script, it just came. It was just so clear to me. Like when I was reading it, it was just like vivid as hell.
Like for your audition, for your audition though, like you were talking about, like, so did you like go crazy for your like when you were auditioning for the part? Did they want you to be crazy?
They wanted us to have some improv in the take. It was definitely described as like, make it your own. Many auditions are like that's kind of like the preface for a lot, but in the breakdown and the language, I felt that it was really a safe place to just be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna throw out a wacky idea. And maybe you guys will like with it. Maybe you'll be like, oh shit, this is amazing. Or it might be like, yo, this girl's a fucking weirdo. Next. Like that's really the risk as an actor where you're just out there, you audition and it's like, oh, maybe they fuck with it and maybe they don't. Yeah. And this time they did. There was one creative choice that I had where I had a knife like in the frame.
Yeah.
And I was like, in that point, I was taunting and just being like really into like, yeah, maybe I'll do this and then I can do that to you. And this whole part actually got cut from the movie, but there was more to it when I'm talking about finally like getting into the deli and like purging him. I just had fun with it. And it was a little embarrassed because it was just the way that it came and it was just like it fold, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's see what they think of me. I don't know. That was a little intense.
To kind of stem from what you were saying when you were first kind of reading the part, but throughout the whole process, we were both curious when we rewatched this. What do you think that Kimmy's backstory is? Who hurt her? Like, there's the line where you're coming up again. I think it was for the second time, the first time in the car, but the second time coming to the deli, and you're talking about how you've already killed your parents. And we were thinking, like, were the parents like abusive? Like, why is she so angry?
From my imagination, from what I put from it, from what I poured into it, it's more of me really amping up the danger that the purge creates. I'm gonna say more about this. When you feel small in just life, sometimes it's really easy to stack up the chips of resentment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Be very resentful, little by little. You know, this injustice in life, and then this injustice in life, and then this injustice in life. And in the world of the purge, one day a year,
Mhm.
everybody's on the same slate.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was less about her being angry or her holding things or holding like, oh, I hate my parents, or I hate this. It was just more like, everyone that made me feel small in this last year is gonna fucking get theirs this purge.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, and we
So-
talked about it too. Kimmy, the age and the years and everything, we think that Kimmy may have like never lived when there wasn't the
Exactly.
purge. Like, she's had it her
Exactly.
whole
That was
life.
my choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I could gather from the script and from what I could gather from the world and what I could get from James and everything together, it was like Kimmy grew up in this world only knowing the purge.
Right.
So the type of empathy that we would know, she doesn't know. The type of thing where, you know, you kind of just get over it if someone gets mad at you, is you have a thing with somebody, it's either you change the situation, you change the way you feel about it, you move on.
Yep.
In this world that Kimmy grew up in and that the youth, all the youth had grown up in, is to not understand that, not to be able to deal with that, not to really have that, I don't know, social skill, I guess you could call it, for lack of like better explaining. But in my creations of like choices that I made for, okay, this is what's going on in the character building.
Yeah.
Kimmy grew up in a world where it was this, the purge has always been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, there are a lot of times where I could see how a young woman can be made to feel small in this world.
Yeah.
In many different ways. And on this day, these are women were completely fearless.
Yeah.
Like, we came out in dresses. It was like, yeah, I fucking wish you would. Try something.
Mm-hmm.
And
We even talked about that in that scene. The cars, it's a really cool aesthetic, but in the purge, it's not really defensive or offensive. You're not really.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
I hit you with the car.
Well, this is true.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those situations where we're not we're looking for violence and not afraid of it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
in the setting of it, the whole posse's in the car. Everyone has a weapon.
Yeah.
So it's like, unless we're going against like maybe like a monster truck or a big truck and it has like one of those plow things or just push you out the
Yeah.
way, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's choosing your battles, but for all of the for all of the workings of what the Candy Girls were doing and like how we were presenting ourselves and how we're coming forward, there was no fear.
Yeah.
There was no like, oh no, but what if we? It's like, no, it was more of a like, I wish you would, because we're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been prepping for this the whole year. You see this fit? You see this gun?
Yeah. You know, in
What
this,
was yesterday's decision?
yeah,
Right.
you know, in this conversation, that's something I never really thought about. Kind of going, I was thinking about this as you were talking about it. You know, my dad, this is a good example. So my dad, when he turned 18, the drinking age was 18, right? So, it had just like, they moved it back a couple years, I guess. They moved it back to 18 for a couple years, and it was around that time. So he was 18, he could drink at 18. So then the year that he was turning 21, my dad's birthday is January 29th. And they decided to turn it back to 21 on January of '01. So he literally couldn't drink for 29 days. And I never really thought about that though, like kind of in all of our observations and like fandom of like the Purge is what would it be like for a kid who grew up with the Purge in their lives, and if they liked to purge, like if they looked forward to it like they would Thanksgiving or Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
for it then to be abolished by this presidential candidate this
Mhm.
presidential elect.
You're taking a right away.
Yeah, what would that?
Exactly.
It's interesting to think. I've never thought about it from that perspective. Like, what would it be like for someone who grew up with the Purge to then have it taken away from them? It's what they're used to. Like they may have killed. I don't know what the age limit is for purging, but they could
It
have.
doesn't seem like there is one.
Right. So it's like you could have
It
started.
doesn't seem like there is one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would have been something really interesting to explore in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the legal age of you being able to purge? Is this an issue? Is this something that's like, is this a right or something that's being brought up in the world of the Purge?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's so many things, especially, unfortunately, now it's gotten more and more relevant to just come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good point.
It's really disturbing.
Yeah. We view that.
It's disturbing. I remember it just being like, man, imagine how wild that would be.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely viewed, when we rewatched this, but I think from the beginning, as kind of being like through the lens of the senator. And like, well, why wouldn't you want this being taken away? Don't you, you don't want to have your own comeuppance. But it is interesting to kind of flip that and say, this is the great equalizer, right? I can finally get back what I feel like's been taken from me all year. And then to the point of like Kimmy and her gang and friends, yeah, it would be like you're taking away the right for me to finally feel like I'm equal or possibly superior with that night. That's an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think about like in the world side of control, when I think about like the world of it and just the way that the language around how they talk about purging and how you're right, and how it's like, oh, but it's all these benefits to it. Like, I literally read like, the propaganda that they had on the Purge site, like before I like worked on my audition, just to understand the mindset of this world.
Yeah.
Like, what is like, because at first it was just like, oh my God, what? You do what a year? What? But yeah, it's kind of unsettling how on point they get human nature and just like, societal things when it's just, this wacky idea, but there's a lot of validity.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about this yesterday. We talked about this when we were, talking about the film. I think the closest, I guess, feeling to actually purging would be in real life would be, I was comparing it to like when sports teams are talking shit to each other, or like UFC fighters or boxers, or they've got some kind of grudge against each other. All like I fucking hate this guy, he this and that, or I hate his wife. Or, like they make all these comments, and it's like, settle it in the ring, settle it on the court, settle it on the field,
settle it on Purge.
Well, yeah. So it's very you can take out your aggressions, like like I can beat this guy to a pulp in the ring. And then we can shake hands at the end of the day, and that's squashed. That I've purged my feelings for that guy in the ring. But so that's where I feel like that's like the closest comparison I feel like to what the Purge would feel like. But obviously the film franchise and the TV series takes it further than that. It's permanent in that sense.
I think also this sounds wacky, but I think another way to think about it, like another real world comparison. It's not necessarily someone filled with negative emotions, but somehow it ends up ending violent. When certain teams win certain sports games and people just wild the fuck out and lose their minds and like set cars on fire because they're so happy. Yeah. It's like, I can see it was just like, it's a hive mind of that kind of boils over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of emotions felt together in the same, like, community, but, like, ends up boiling over into destruction.
Yeah. So I'm curious about like your cast interactions. What was it like working with people like Frank Grillo and Elizabeth Johnson, and even, the guys, McKelty Williamson and like JJ Soraya and those guys.
Faculty was super awesome to work with. It was fun because when I got cast, I went and like Googled up like who else got cast? Like who am I about to meet?
Yep.
And when T popped up, I was like, oh my gosh. Like I called my mom, like I was like, Mom. And then my mom just of course was just like, wait, you mean like bubble gum? And I was like, yes, mommy. And it was a little funny. I was like, Money, there's so much more than that. She's like, yes, I know, but like, I just want to make sure I knew this what you talk about.
Yeah.
Sounds like something I would say when Brandon names someone.
Right.
Amy.
And then Frank Grillo is also super nice. He was so kind. He told me, like, I think I got this right. He's from Pelham Bay in the Bronx, or at least lived in Pelham Bay in the Bronx for a while, because I'm from the Bronx.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, I know the Bronx. And I was like, you know the Bronx? And then he proved it. And it was super cool. He was so hella cool to deal with. Betty, oh shit, like that was super fun because that was before she booked Get Out. And it was so fun working with her because it was like whenever she had to do that scene, Betty Gabriel, when she comes up and she has to do that scene with the gun and she has to like shoot me at the end.
Yeah.
And whenever we did it, you know, she came up with this badass energy. And, you know, in between takes, I was like, okay, it's time for that Sarah Connor energy. It's time for that Sarah Connor energy. And she was like, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, yeah. So it was so awesome talking with everyone. JJ was super awesome. Oh my goodness. I've been watching his stuff. Like,
Yeah.
When we were on set, I recognized him, but I didn't know where I recognized him from.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him and I was like, JJ, I know you from something, right? And he was like, super humble about it. He's like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And I'm like, no, but where'd I know you from? And he's like, maybe a good neighbor. And I was like a good neighbor, State Farm is there? That was you, right? That was you. That was the guy in the car with and the buffalo, right? That was you, right? And he was so like, that was me. And I was like, can you say it for me though? Like, can you say it for me? Everyone was so lovely. Everyone was like so playful. Yeah, I have like really colorful memories being on set and like joking with everyone. So yeah, man, like
I liked your.
that's super dope.
I was hoping you'd bring it up naturally, but your story about Elizabeth Johnson. We talked about like at cons. Like there was a story with her.
Yes. Hold on. Can't remember. Was this one where I was on the floor and I was cold?
Yes.
Ah, yes. Oh my gosh. So like playing dead, you know what I'm saying? And it was October.
Yep.
Late October night. So it wasn't freezing. It's maybe like 50 something degrees. So it's like nippy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying my best to be professional actor. I'm dead. I'm still, but I'm shivering.
Yeah.
And she's catching that I'm shivering. And she's like, can we get like a pad for her? Can we do something? Is she in the scene? Hold on. Like Brittany's cold. And I was just kind of like, no, it's fine. I promise. No, I don't want to be a burden. Because like this is my first gig.
Yeah.
My first big gig. So I was just so grateful to just be there that I was overlooking my needs.
Yeah.
And then also in this point in my life, like I was like, you know, in my early 20s, and I wasn't very good with self-care and advocating for myself. So it was so wonderful to have a castmate just see a need that I was burying and trying to just be like, no, I'm good. No, I promise I'm good. And have her advocate for me. Her and Frank advocated for me. They were together, and you just said, she noticed, she said something, and he said something too, like, hold on. She on the floor, she's cold.
Yeah.
I need her in the shot. You need her in the shot? Okay, keep her in the shot, but can we have a way to not make her cold? And I was just like,
good for her. You know, women helping women and seeing that need and speaking up. Good for her.
Yep. I need to correct myself. I was saying Elizabeth Johnson. It's Elizabeth Mitchell, not Johnson. That's my bad.
I was about to say, I said Johnson? I've been saying her name wrong this whole time.
No, it was me.
Really?
That was my. For some reason.
So I was like, oh my God.
For some reason, I wrote down Johnson.
Yeah, it's exhausting at her.
But I've been saying it wrong.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Well, I wanted to ask, kind of before when you were talking about behind the scenes with your castmates and everything, I'm curious. One of the kind of plot points that I wish I could have seen more was Lainey's backstory and that interaction that you first have in the deli when you find out who Lainey is and she's got this nickname and it kind of puts you in your yes, she kind of puts you in, puts Kimmy in her place kind of thing. Did you guys was there a scene that was edited out? Was there some kind of explanation of who Lainey was?
Was edited out. A little edited out. It was me kind of talking a little bit more about Lainey being like, oh yeah, you was a legend, you did this, you did that, da 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 da, like, yo, you was all of this, what happened to you, what's going on with you now? And then that's when I go into, we look all whitish now, like, ew, I wish I met you back in the day. So there's like a little bit there where I'm like bigging her up and talking about, a little bit of the notoriousness of her.
Yeah.
I guess basically, she was like, as I say, like my hero. Like she's just this badass, I guess known in the neighborhood little gangsta, badass doing all these things, and I'm on the same trajectory.
Yeah.
I'd love the system. Yeah, I'd love to.
Like a blaze of glory on Purge night.
Yeah, I'd love to have seen like what it was she exactly did. You know what I mean? Or like just a little bit more because that scene where she comes in and runs everybody over and then cleans house. It is that energy that you talked about of feeling Sarah Connor and everything. I think all of the audience felt that and got that and loved that. And it makes that scene iconic of the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
But it
was definitely electricity in the air when we shot it.
You got to hint up that.
We shot it. I was just like,
yeah,
oh, here it comes. Here it comes. She made it very easy. She made it very easy for me to feel intimidated and squirming on the floor. She made it very easy. But like that.
And what was her nickname again? What was that name?
Yeah.
Pequeña Muerte. Little death.
Yeah. Oh, that's what. Okay.
Yeah. I took 2 years of Spanish in high school, early 2000s. Don't always retain everything.
Well, it's not even that. It's kind of the way it was edited and everything. It was a little hard to hear her. That's why I was curious what it was. So
yeah.
Oh, copy.
Yeah.
That's so funny because we did ADR work with that and I definitely reset it. I was like, okay.
It might have been our TV system. I don't know.
I just really would have loved to have seen like maybe if they would ever do like a season 3, they could do her like prequel.
Yeah.
Get to see her.
Yo, that would be so cool.
Yeah, that's
like some kind of prequel, some kind of something. Even though like quite a bit of time has passed, they might have to do a little finagling, maybe like younger than 16.
Yeah.
I don't know. You still look grown, so.
I mean,
I think it'd be cool to see. There's a lot of characters I'd love to see, like how American Horror Stories, they'll do like mini like one episode arc things, like, and some of them have had like the previous like the Covenant had like an episode. I think it'd be neat to see like the Purge stories and like maybe you get an episode and maybe Joel gets one for Ben and like it just different people from different movies. We get to kind of see their backstories.
It would be super cool. Be super cool. There's other backstories. I'd be like, yo, I would love to see more about going on. Like just. Yeah, such diabolical things going on, and like also was just like this is a brief one where it's like in Purge election year there's like a squabble that happens that happens between a husband and a wife.
Yeah,
and then the wife immediately regrets it.
Yeah.
I was like, that would have been so interesting. It was just like you show this, but then you show like before it got there, maybe like 3 days before the Purge. She was like, you know what? That song, like, that would there's so many.
Just wait till Thursday
to explore with this.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Swear to God, I just love her using.
But oh wait, I was like, oh, it's March 19th.
Would you see how my picture now?
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I saw something kind of like alarming on TikTok.
Oh.
So I was scrolling around because I wanted, like, I sometimes get the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things that pop up on my timeline and on my For You page when I see fan edits.
Yeah.
Like for the Purge stuff, and I always get so excited. I always get so happy. I'm always commenting. I click like, oh my God. I show my mom. But then I saw something kind of scary. Apparently March 16th, there's like, not a widespread, but like a small, like little niche corner of the internet is like, yeah, there should be a Purge this year. And I'm like,
Yeah. You're 5 days early.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, on the 16th. And I was like, No, no. I think that you guys need to rewatch the movie because I think you're missing.
Yeah.
Missing the point.
Well, it's funny. You know how Facebook has like the local pages, like like they'd have like Bronx, whatever. We have like my hometown has Nosy Asses of Battle Creek. I know a couple times that they've done like a today's Purge Day. You can say whatever you want on this page and it'll get approved, and call anybody out, do whatever you want. Blah blah. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? And then I said, I was like, you guys should do it on March 21st if you're gonna do this. But
Be accurate.
right.
Well, I wanted to ask you, we just recently celebrated International Women's Day.
Yeah.
So yeah, you as a female horror icon, how does it make you feel seeing yourself not only as a woman, iconic masked killer, but also that level of being a Black woman in this kind of role? How did that affect you? How did you play into that? Just anything surrounding.
I
Sure.
feel unbelievably grateful.
Yeah.
It's also like it feels a little surreal sometimes. Like even like hearing you say that, I was like, yeah. Like it's completely factual, but it's one of those things where it's never lost on me. Like I'm always like, wow, this is that it's cool. It's like it's super cool, and it feels like it's a reoccurring gift. Like whenever I meet someone that like really loved the movie and they're just like, yo, I fucking hated you. That's how much I love you. I fucking hated you. And I was just like, oh my God, it's me. It is. And it's so rad. Like, and then like it also happens in the most random times. Or one time I was on the subway, I was just vibing, and I was like looking at the map, but like I'm looking up, and I'm looking up, and I'm looking up, and this guy's across from me, and I see him looking at me, and I'm like, why does he keep looking at me? Whatever. And I'm looking up, and he's like, I recognize you from something. And I was just getting here like, huh? And I'm like, oh yes. In that scene in The Purge where I'm covered in the blood, like that's like that scene that like it come like, you know what I mean? Like if you know the movie. So it's just like I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, actually I am an actor. You might know me for something, maybe you don't. So yeah, those are always fun and random because I never like they happen, but it doesn't happen often enough for me to be like, oh, I know why this person's staring at me. Sometimes, you could just be looking.
I just think of that scene in Friends where Phoebe's twin sister has been doing adult stuff.
Yeah.
You know where you're ugly from. No.
Oh my gosh, I saw a TikTok like that where it was like an actual adult film star, and then she was like, it's awkward because sometimes in public, you don't know why people are staring at you. You don't know. Like, do you know me or do you not know me?
Yep. What have you seen? What have you heard?
Yeah.
Exactly. What have you seen? What have you heard? Why are you staring at me? Do you like my hair? Do you recognize me? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and in horror, it's just awesome because what is it? It's usually all typically white males, right? And the killers are the ones that get the costumed character killers are the ones that get kind of celebrated in the genre of horror. So for you to be a Black woman to be able to celebrate it in that same regard, it's breaking down barriers, it's breaking down stereotypes, it's just I look at you iconically like I would Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger's a character killer, even though I get that it's a little bit different because you're not like the sole killer of the film, but you're kind of
memorable.
Well, that and you're the face of that movie, I feel like, which kind of leads into my like next question, like along these same lines, the Purge election year really was the only Purge film to get merchandise like Funko Pops and masks. Of course, Anarchy had like the God mask and everything, and that had a Funko as well. But the Purge election year had 4 Funkos, including yours, and you got the trick or treat mask like we have here on our display. What did that do? Like, how did you feel like? Because again, you're just like this quote unquote random purger, even though you got like a lot of screen time, but you got all this awesome merchandise. We've done costume photos with you at conventions now because of it. Like, how does that make you feel like with all that?
again, it's one of those things where it's just like, wow,
Mm.
wow, 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 wow. I'm just beyond like so much gratitude.
Yeah.
Is also something where it's just like, remember the first time I found out about the Funkos,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, this, because I found out about like the other ones, and then there was like, yeah, and there's one for Kimmy, and I was like, wait, what? And when I saw it in store, it was like, I did get emotional because I was just like, wow, this is so cool. This is like a dream. It's a dream come true. It's an absolute dream come true. And to not see it coming, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't previously like, like as like it wasn't previously discussed. Like, okay, when you book, like with the booking, this is gonna happen, and there's gonna be costumes, and you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how well received my character was gonna be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when a lot of that came out, it was just like an absolute dream come true. Like, I don't want to be all cheesy,
No,
but
yeah.
like it's such a it's so it's such a soft and like wonderful, like mushy part of my heart. Oh my gosh. And so yeah, it's something I'm incredibly grateful and incredibly proud of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's several people that I know that maybe they're not even really into horror per se, but if you talk about The Purge, one of the first things they talk about is your character. And they talk about, the one that wants the candy bar, or oh, the fried, or the one that's that comes out of the car. It's just it the energy that you and the cast and the crew and everyone that put into it. I think
Yeah.
it really came across. A lot of people really that I mean, it's part of a franchise. It's a third movie, but it's one of the first things that people think of
Yeah.
when they hear about The Purge.
Yeah.
It's super awesome. It's like I guess still like even like years later, like I still have to like pinch myself. Like yeah, but like all together we had such an amazing team come together of creative minds to make it the movie that it came out to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Like so much poured in from costume, and then like from art department, from our stunt work, from our awesome director, like the cast, like everyone came together, and then like the cinematographer also, like there were things like in between, like when he was like setting up for shots and we were doing rehearsal, and then like he was like catching like these frames in between. It was just like there was just so much magic on the set where everyone as a creative felt that they could just really pour out and just like, let's fucking do this shit. Let's see, you know what I mean? It wasn't, it not to say that other movie sets are like, it feels like, you're walking on eggshells, but it was just such an amazing like feeling.
Yeah.
Of everyone getting together, and just like, it was just super cool. It was just like one of the most awesome projects to work on. Super cool.
Now, if you had to, I'd say gun to your head, but if you had to not be Kimmy, but be any other role in the franchise, who would you have liked to have possibly played?
You know what? I think I would have had fun with Joel's character.
Oh, from season 2.
Yeah.
Yes. And then just like that journey of him just fucking losing it toward that parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really scary to watch because, like, Matt Joel, he's so nice. And he's also intimidatingly tall.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh my God, they had you on set wilding out like that.
Right. Yeah. And for those who don't know, Joel is from season 2. He's the one that he's called Ben the Campus Killer. He's the one that made the God mask popular in that franchise. So
Yeah.
hey, speaking of the mask, your Kiss Me mask. Well, first of all, did you keep anything from set or any props? And then, do you know the significance of the Kiss Me on the mask?
What about the kissing mask? One more time?
Do you know
I started answering and then you didn't finish. I'm
sorry.
I started answering before I let you finish your question.
No, you're good. Do you know the significance of the Kiss Me on the mask?
Meaning?
Yeah, like, well, do you know like why it says that, or like what is that? Like, what was the idea behind it? Do you know that? Or is it just something like that looks creepy?
I'm not. I think it just adds to the creepiness.
Yeah.
There wasn't a discussion that I was involved with as sure why
Okay.
it says kiss me, but I was involved with the selecting of the masks. Like I tried different ones on with the outfit. So there was a point in time where we were having a meeting, just by the makeup trailer, and we were just getting the Purge night looks like finalized
Yeah.
by James. And when I put that mask on, like I felt that it was the mask.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it was something in like something clicked. Like when I saw it, I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
hold up.
Did you?
When you put it on,
Yeah.
and it was just embodied it and was like messing around in it.
Yeah.
It was like we all like it was just like it clicked for James, it clicked for makeup, it clicked for me. We loved it.
Did you keep it, or like did you were you able to keep it, or
The designer of the mask actually was able to give me my own.
that's awesome. That's great.
So I was really happy about that. Very grateful.
Yeah.
We just had to do like a quick little exchange. He was like, "Hey, you gonna sign one for me though, right?" And I was like, "JC, gotcha." So yeah.
What was it made out of?
The original, it felt almost paper mache. Felt very thin. I had to be very delicate with it.
Yeah.
Um, you can almost peep how delicate I had to be when I'm like taking it off in that scene.
Yeah.
Like you're not really realizing it, but I'm being real delicate.
Mm.
But I'm being real girl in my face. That I'm being real delicate with the mask.
Sure.
I ripped it a little bit during filming.
Oh.
I don't know if it was exactly paper mache, but it was definitely close to it. And then around the eyes, it had like this screening, like not really screen, but just like this mesh, and it made it impossible to see out of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can kind of see out of it, but like you know how you can kind of see out of a blindfold.
Yeah.
So some of that acting with the mask on was really just me feeling, because I can be see.
Yeah. What's her?
Now, what was your most challenging scene? Was it with using that mask, or was it uh the the blood splatter, or what part was your most challenging?
Challenging. I think that in the scene leading up to like when we're driving, when we see the car swerving,
Mm-hmm.
we're really in the car
Okay.
when it's swerving, and on screen it don't look like we swerving all that much, but we swerving.
Yeah.
Okay, like bro, I'm like, come shoot, okay, like I'm swerving, but I'm also trying to hold on to the amped up Purge night energy. Here we fucking go type of thing.
Yeah.
So that was a bit challenging because I was definitely holding on
Yeah.
for dear life. And that thing, like I was safe, but I was still just kind of like, yo, I'm it's they're swerving for real in this car. Hold on, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that was challenging because I had to really have the opposite attitude and idea and feeling
Yep.
immediately when it's like, it's okay, we stop, get out the car, it starts. So it was just that was a bit of a challenge, but that was also kind of fun. It was just kind of like almost felt a little bit like a game. I was just like, oh, okay.
So, you probably get asked this a lot, but if you, Brittany, not Kimmy, but you, Brittany, were to be put into a purge situation, what do you think would happen? Do you think you'd be out there like melee and living it up and going wild, or do you think you would like bunker down and try to stay safe?
I feel like I could do like one or two things. Either I would probably try to like be out of the country, like try my hardest, just be like every year I take a vacation that week,
Right.
or I'll do something like really silly because like everybody's gonna be out doing violent shit. I would like probably like loot.
Yeah.
But not even loot anything where it's just like really violent, like something like steal a bunch of puppies or something, like something
Yeah.
something suited me.
Yeah, we said we thought a lot of people would probably loot first. A lot of thieves the first purge.
Seriously, like if that's on the thing, if all crime is legal, I'm not going to murder. I'm gonna loot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get some stuff.
Yeah.
Going shopping.
Nowadays, we go out and get a few dozen eggs.
I know, right?
Yeah, she brought up the idea of
Go to
hiding it,
poultry farm and be like, you know what time it is. Put it in
right?
the truck.
Put them in the truck.
Like hide out in a Walmart, like you know what I mean? Like hide out in a Walmart bathroom and then like loot it.
We hide out in a Walmart on the 20th.
Right. I'd probably put all the shit that I want like in a laundry hamper and then like hide it behind like a big TV or something. And then like when it started, break out of the bathroom and then, just wheel that laundry hamper out to my car and go home.
Oh my God, I'll do you one better. This is insidious. I'd get a job at Walmart 6 months before.
Yes.
Again, be hiding it for a good 6 months.
Yeah.
Like they won't see it coming.
I know you're on TikTok. Brandon's not. I told him that I saw that there were some, I say females because it was mostly females I saw, but some people, specifically at Target, they were like at Christmas time hiding things so that when it was after Christmas and things went 75% off, 90% off, then they were going back and checking their hiding spots.
Yeah.
And like one woman, she got like a whole cartload full of like seasonal Christmassy type stuff. Then at 90% because she hit it all. It's ingenious. Not really ethical.
This also shows you it's just like in between shifts, they don't even be checking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
She was like, as someone that used to work in retail, I'm sitting here like, wow.
Yep.
So they weren't doing like all that extra mess that I had to do when I was in retail. That must be nuts.
Yeah, she was showing like some of the spots, like the more expensive, like to his point, like laundry hampers, like putting it in the very back one because like they'll straighten up the shelves, but they're not like actively like looking in.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah. I was like,
Okay. I thought you about like the displays. I'm like, they don't mess with the display?
no, they like just hiding it inside other spots within the store. So then when they come back after Christmas and it's on, deep sale, it's not been picked through. It's been hiding somewhere else.
Yeah, I had to go find my goods. It's like, man, where are you going?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well,
That's actually kind of smart. I should do that like a Michael's. Like I feel like Michael's, like after every holiday, all of those decorations are like 99% off.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So you started doing the convention scene a couple of years ago. What's like the craziest thing anyone's ever like had you sign, or like have you had any weird fan interactions? What's been like the con vibe been for you, like in signings and such?
It's been so welcoming and so nice. So we just sit here. I'm like, something wild. Like people have been so kind and so nice to me. Been giving me gifts, giving me T-shirt, and I have a cup. Someone like that was like, that was one of the vendors. Like she was her team. They had multiple tumblers of different like horror films, and they had one for Candy Girl for the Purge, and just had this whole cup with all of these like screen grabs from the movie all around the tumbler, and I was
That's cool.
so that's one of my favorite gifts. I would really that T-shirt. Let me see. Also, people like giving me like little gifts. I have like a little necklace somebody gave me. I have tons of candy people have given me. I have gotten so much candy. It's actually really awesome. Like I think
They've learned. They know better.
a great like little like I don't know if you could add this like into the fandom. People either ask me, "Yo, did you get that candy?" or they give me candy. Like I think it's so like I love that. Like I was just there like seeing people dress up as character coming to the con, like as in like full costume, full commitment. It's amazing. I want to commission someone that I met to make me one of the guns because she came in with a gun so much better. That was like
whoever made you that other gun just
art department putting foots on necks. They were so ooh.
I did my
And it was
best.
heavy.
I did my
It was
best for you.
like a legit gun. I was like, ooh.
Oh yeah, for the one that she made, it was way better than the one that I attempted to make you. So
Sorry, it works. It works. It works to the shoe.
Yeah.
Also, meeting a Purge fan with a Purge tattoo. He had one like right here.
Yeah.
Did we ever send him them stickers?
No.
We sent him like 3 sheets of stickers.
Yeah.
We got it. I forget. If he's watching this, we ain't forget.
We have not forgotten. I thought about it the other day, to be honest. So
Just taking a long time.
yeah.
Email us at our Gmail,
Yeah.
and we'll get them out to you.
Yeah.
Probably send him more than stickers now.
Yeah.
You want candy?
You know, we spoke earlier about like what role within the Purge that you'd like to, if you couldn't have been Kimmy. But outside of that, any like horror role what like that you would love to have one day?
I would love to do something trippy and out there like The Substance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like something that's just like, and anyway, because like trippy's the wrong word, because I absolutely love the cinematography in that film.
Yes.
It was just so intentional, and it really it's just like it was pretty, and then it was sexy, and then it was just like it gross you out, like that the part where the producer was eating the shrimp, and he's like, and it's just like, oh, it's fucking good, and it's very raw, and it just made you think so many things and feel so many things, and it gets campy as fuck at the end, and I loved it.
Yes.
So yeah, something like that, something where it's just like it takes you on a wild ride, but it also it's just like makes you proud of horror. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like when I watched that, I was like, fuck yeah. I was so excited for that film and for the award season, and I was just like,
No, what
hell,
role
like
in
it was just
Substance
it was
did you want?
so many wins for the genre, and it made me really happy. And also happy for Demi, happy for the cast, happy for the director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something like that. Something where it's in your face about something, because there's no tiptoeing around the content in it. And yeah, it was very brave performances, very brave, a very brave opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I would jump in face first.
Heck yeah.
No, which role would you want inside The Substance? Would you want to be Demi's role? Like the full prosthetics?
It would be
and
fucking
everything?
cool to be Demi's role, but I think if it's looking at if it's the exact same thing, and I don't know if I would, because like unless actually, you know what? It could be a similar thing, because younger women, there's all these things that they market to women to make you feel insecure about your body.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be in an age range to feel that and to be able to connect to that.
So, have you seen the other Purge films and TV series, and do you enjoy them? And do you enjoy other horror movies? Are you a horror fan at all?
Yes, I did see quite a bit from the Purge franchise. Like again, like the first one, the second one, the one I'm in, the one after that, the first Purge.
Yep.
Which is ironic. The first Purge, and I did see the first Purge.
Yes.
So it was both movies. And then the series, I think Forever Purge.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I didn't see all of it, so I can't even really comment on it. And other horror films, I fucking love them. I don't know, like it's interesting because growing up, I kind of lumped other genres that I thought were horror with horror.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then it wasn't until like I really started working as an actor and understanding the genre.
Yeah.
I realized I was lumping things together with horror.
Sure.
But yeah, man. Multiple things. Some things that people have heard, some things I haven't heard. It Follows is fucking freaked me out.
Yeah.
Smile freaked me out. I still think Get Out is horror. Like some people say, like it's suspense, it's thriller. Man, listen.
Yeah.
It can. I feel like it can. I think it can live in both worlds. You can be suspenseful and horror.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love Jordan Peele. So I don't know. Is Nope? I feel like Nope isn't technically horror because it's an alien movie.
It's like
that one.
yeah, it's like a horror sci-fi maybe.
Yeah, it's like horror sci-fi. So it's not quite. I also love sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, like we talk about on here, there's a lot of blending of horror, like The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, right? Like that's kind of a horror movie because it was based off of an old Universal Monsters like horror movie, like the original, but they made it more of into an action comedy. Phantom of the Opera musical with Emmy Rossum, that's almost a horror-ish because it was based off of the Phantom of the Opera from the Universal Monsters back in the day. So it's one of those things where it's like it might derive from horror, it might not necessarily be like full on, but that's why we kind of
Yeah.
we do like a horror subgenre when we talk about our movies and stuff too when we're reviewing them because it's like, all right, well, what other box does this check?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, because it will certain horror films will check multiple boxes, which is well, definitely this is sci-fi. Technically this.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I love Terrifier.
heck yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Got to mention that.
yeah.
We're going to be reviewing that this year. I think all 3 of them at different parts.
I was about to say, like, you go see all 3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Lit.
yep.
We actually took a friend with or a couple with us. We did a double date. They had not seen the first or the second Terrifier, and they jumped right into Terrifier 3. We had to say sorry to them after the movie.
Yo, I really needed a disclaimer before I started watching it because I think I started with 3 and then I saw 2
Yep.
and then I was like,
No, I think you saw
"This
two
is how it
first.
starts. This is how it starts. How it starts, like."
I think you saw two first because I remember we were talking about that before even
Okay.
before we even saw the third one. Like you and I had been talking about it because you were trying to get in the third one. So yeah.
So fuck. Oh my god. I just remember being so like I had to pause it in the first 5 minutes. I was like, wait. This is how it starts.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious about your other roles. Can you tell us about working with Method Man in the Power Book 2 and your role in Alberto in the Concrete Jungle?
Yeah. I'll talk about Alberto because I shot that first. Alberto and Country Jungle was super fun. We shot this pre-pandemic,
Okay.
but it didn't actually get into the film festival circuit until after the pandemic.
Yep.
So that was really interesting because we kind of had to find creative ways. The director found really creative ways to incorporate bits of the new world now.
Sure.
Because there were things and interactions that were happening in the movie that under the lens of being in quarantine for 2 years, you would just be like, whoa, they're just all comfortable in the same room. There's so many people all together there.
Yeah.
And he kind of had to kind of sprinkle in a little bit of the character feeling like a bit of germophobia in between certain things.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped because he had a whole little listing of the character being like, I take airborne, I take this, I do this, and this because of all the traveling that I do. But meanwhile, when we shot it, this was 2019. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't think twice if someone sneezed next to you. You know what I mean? Now it'd be like, excuse you. You know? That was really fun. It was an indie film. We got to shoot everything all in one apartment. Well, at least my scene. He shot all over New York. Super fun. A lot of fun cinematography in that movie. It's available on 2D.
Awesome.
And we won the Big Apple Film Fest. I think is Best Short.
Oh,
that's awesome.
No, film. Sorry, Best Feature. Not a short. Best
Yeah.
Feature in 2022.
Nice.
That's great.
And shooting Power, that was so fun. So when I auditioned for that, they had code names in the script.
Yep.
So I didn't know who was opposite of me when I was auditioning for it.
Yeah.
And with this, I was having fun with it. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking that they would cast me. I was just whatever, and just kind of had my own setup in my brain, who he was, who I was, what was happening. And I kind of gave a little bit of attitude in my audition. It was just just your phone, you know?
Yep.
And when my reps told me I booked it, I was like, power? Really? Really? Oh shit, that's awesome. Because I wanted to be on the show, but I knew that it was ending soon, so I didn't think it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I was also just kind of ooh, I don't know how many reoccurring roles are going to be left. Like they just have like a one season. It was like, what would if they even seeing any other characters? So when I saw that they had like co-stars and stuff, and they were doing stuff like that, I told my rep, like, hey, just maybe you don't know, you don't know. And it ended up working out. And during the production meeting, I got to meet Method Man, the director. I got to meet the writer. It was cool. Like everyone was like hella chill. It was very great set, like hella professional. I felt so safe.
Yeah.
Felt so brave.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like, oh my gosh. Like it was super cool and super empowering, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
You know, because it's like a bit of a challenge. Because it's like, you know, that's Method Man. This man has been famous for forever. I didn't know who I would be really meeting. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like the people, they have their perfect persona and then they have who they are. And I was just kind of like, ooh, I don't know what this personality is going to be like. Like, is it going to be okay to work with? And it was so great to work with.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I felt really like, I feel like I've been having a really good luck streak because everyone's been so awesome.
That's great. Awesome. Well, so okay, we have 4 kind of bonus personal questions for you. If you're not comfortable with answering them, they're fine. We can always edit this out because this is all pre-recorded. So just our first one here is, what does a day in the life of Brittany look like, and what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Multiple things. I don't know. Depends on the day.
Yeah.
I really do like to travel and stuff. So on like a high energy amazing day, I'm like, you know, going to put together a trip to go somewhere. You know what I mean? To just go explore something. I grew up, fortunately, being able to like do family vacations here and there.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just kept it going, and I was just like, I need a vacation. I want to go. I want to do this. I didn't really I didn't want to say no. Actually, no. Last year I did get to pop around some places. Oh, look at me, about to lie. And if I'm not doing that, I like hanging out with my friends. Like, I try to make time for the people that I love in my life.
Yeah.
I try to have like real, like, it's not even like elaborate, like, oh, we got to brunch, we do this. Like, literally, it's like, girl, can I reserve 2 hours on your couch to just connect and laugh and talk about something and nothing and watch TV? Like, me and my friend will meet together once a week and we will like watch TV for maybe like 3 or 4 hours together. And we're just chatting, venting, laughing, snacking, playing with her dog, playing with my dog. And then before we know it, it's like, damn, girl, it's been 5 hours.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I guess it's a mix of it. You know, I bake too. It's one of my favorite things. I love sweets in real life. I really do have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we like to do here at the Couple That Slays Together, at the end, before we give our grade and everything, we have 2 different categories that we like to talk about. And we're kind of backtracking here, so you may have to edit.
Yeah.
But we're going back to just Purge election year. What was your favorite as a viewer? So watching the movie as a viewer, what was your favorite scene and what was your favorite death/kill of the movie?
My favorite scene in Purge election year?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say your own.
Yeah.
It is? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm going to say,
absolutely.
I was like, oh, that's a damn someone else.
No. Actually, you're allowed.
This sounds so sick, but I love this scene where Lainey comes and fucking hits us with the car.
Yes.
Because, like, we don't see it coming. We doing ring around the rosy. We're like, yeah, we got you, motherfucker. And then it's like, oh, bitch. Like, I don't know. It was just, even though it's me watching me,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, bitch. Like, I don't know.
It's great to know that you also, as a viewer, are like, she's gone. Yes.
Yeah, I love that I'm able to detach like that. I feel like some of my peers will be like, no, I can't watch me. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm able to detach from it.
Yeah.
I'm also able to just be like, oh, wow, I really enjoy it. But also I'm able to like be like, yeah, God, what the fuck is coming to you? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that also your
Have fun
favorite
with
kill?
My favorite kill. Yeah, my favorite kill.
Yeah.
My favorite scene. This is okay. Hold on. I'm trying to, because I remember there's a point where Frank Grillo, he pieces something together when they're in the truck. Trying to remember, he's problem solving, and then I'm just like, ooh, I love how they shot this.
Is it the tracking bullet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. Like, it's just something about that. I don't know. I like that part where you see him like dissecting it together, and then you're like, is he about to figure it out?
Yeah.
It was something about that part. I don't know. I watch it and I get excited with that. And then I also love it when it looks like Frank and Elizabeth, it's about to be over. All these like purge tourists are about to like be all over them, and then it's like,
Yeah.
you guys okay?
Yep.
I don't know. I love that part. Yeah.
What?
I could probably keep going.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was curious about is what did your like family and like your friends when they saw this for the first time? What did they think of your scenes like when they saw you like die? When they say actually when you, like you said like you're usually the nice person or like you're the sweet girl or whatever. What did your family and like your friends think of seeing you on screen? Acting the way you're acting, like being very malicious, but then seeing your death.
When it came for family, I told my parents very little.
Yeah.
About what was gonna happen in the movie because I just wanted to like see their reaction, especially when I already killed my mom and dad tonight. You're next.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally like I knew it was coming up, and I was just they were next to me, and I was just kind of like watching them watch it.
Yep.
And then my mom was like watching it, and she's like, and like looks over at me like, kill your parents. So that's always a fun like little thing between my parents, and they like look at me like, excuse me.
Right.
And yeah, like my best friend Marcel, she was like, girl, I've known you since second grade, and after I saw that movie, I had to look at you a little different. I look at you just a little different. I feel, you know what, pissing you off is not a good idea.
Right. That's funny.
So yeah, those little bits. A little bit of the reactions. My grandparents, they won't watch it because they don't want to see me die.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa, he's like, you die in it? I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
I can't see it. And I'm just sitting here like, you can like press stop before I die.
Yeah. So, kind of then flipping back to our personal questions here, what is something that you kind of are a fan of that, you fan out over?
Multiple things. Holy fuck. I'm about to go down a rabbit hole. I'm just start listening. I'm just start listening to shows. Okay. So, the Game of Thrones stuff. House of Dragon. Oh my God. I can talk to you on and on and on. Okay. I watched Game through all of them. All 8 seasons. It pissed me off. What was the 7th season? What is it? See, that's how much the last season pissed me off, because in my brain I'm like, how many were they? Because
Yeah.
Anyway, I did the first season 8 as far as like storyline. Yeah, those things pissed me off. But goddamn, that crew, they did such an amazing job. I remember watching like some of the behind the scenes stuff for that season, and just I was amazed at how much they were able to get done in the time that they got done.
Yeah.
Whoa. Next TV shows. Oh my God, I loved This Is Us. I loved This Is Us so much that I blindly jumped into Paradise because I saw Dan Fogelman,
Right.
Sterling K. Brown. That was all I needed.
Yep. I'm planning to do that soon myself.
All I needed. I was like, I've seen every episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm ready for season 2. I hope they don't like have us waiting 3 fucking years, because no. Because it's just so good. And then also it's so good, and unfortunately kind of relevant. Like it kind of like triggered my anxiety a little bit, because I was like, oh my God, wait a minute. Evil Billionaire.
Yeah.
And then another TV show that I'm loving, Severance. Oh,
Okay.
Severance?
We've not.
No,
No.
I've heard rave reviews about it, but we haven't seen it.
Yo, fucking love Severance. Okay, so I am aware that I joined not late, but joined recently because season 1 was 3 years ago,
Oh, wow.
and
Oh.
season 2 just started now. Not started, but I want to say we're towards almost the end of season 2.
Yeah.
And sci-fi, you know what I mean? Sci-fi, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I had fallen into it because one, I was just curious about the show in general.
Yep.
And then I had a free trial and forgot about it. And then my free trial turned into, you have this now? So I was like, well, fuck it. Let's watch the TV on it. Let's watch the shows. And that was one of the ones I was most curious about. And I was just like, wow, Apple TV has a lot of good TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop being a secret because, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like going through with all the shows. I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay.
Right.
Some more. I named 3 shows. Hold on. Trust me, there's more. I can quote a lot of things from Rick and Morty,
Okay.
SpongeBob,
Well, I know you like anime because you named your dog after a character.
Naruto.
Yes.
That's not my dog's name.
Yep.
So yes, I like anime. Sheesh. Oh my goodness, we really going through all these shows that I be watching right now. Oh my god, I'm watching Raising Kanan. Like I've named like a lot of really different TV shows. So it's like you like White Lotus, Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, we watched that.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers. Oh my god.
We haven't started the 3rd season yet, but we're going through that as well.
Yeah, they just started the 3rd season. It just started. I want to say there's only like a few episodes right now. I'm letting them pile up so I can do a full binge.
Yep.
Because I kind of forgot what happened at the very end
Right.
of the last season.
There's so much time in between.
Watch the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. Same. And we almost have to do a rewatch of all of it, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they set up so much and there's so much going on, and then there's all that mystery.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to remember, which is like, oh wait, yeah, they didn't answer this yet. They didn't answer that yet.
Right.
And then who the fuck was that when they were running over there? What, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like both Yellow Jackets and From are both great shows, but they're putting a lot into it, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, I'm like, can we get the bus moving just a little faster? Like, I'm not trying to say it in a negative connotation. I'm just like, I want to know. Like, maybe it's my
Right.
patience, but it's like, all right, I feel like there's other shows and movies that move a little faster than this that, you could kind of pick up the pace a little.
I haven't seen From yet.
Okay.
It's a good one.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's definitely a slow burn.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn, and we're not caught up. We're not current, but we have friends that are, and they say that there still isn't answers to everything.
Yeah.
Yet. So,
I would say it's the same for Severance.
Okay.
There's parts during this season, especially season 1, where it feels like a slow burn, and then suddenly it's like information. Don't you fucking forget it. And then it feels like a slow burn. You don't know what all the information was about, and then it comes relevant in another episode. And you're like, wait, rewatch that. Wait. You know what I mean? It's really good. And then I can't believe that with the way they ended season 1, there was a 3-year gap until season 2. Like, it's kind of like, I'm like, y'all motherfuckers had them wait. You had your fandom waiting how long?
Right.
And I'm also kind of nervous because I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen at the end of season 2? Are they gonna make me waste me?
Yep.
Which is crazy to me because if you think about like the shows of the past, if you will, like Smallville, Supernatural, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like all these shows that had 22 episode seasons and they would only take a 3-month break. Now there's these seasons that are like 8 to 10 episodes and they take a 3-year break. Like,
Right.
where's the disconnect? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, it's very. I mean, the way that TV is made now is incredibly different
Oh, yeah.
than what it was in like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it's incredibly different. You like, as you said, like you used to have 22 episode seasons.
Yep.
You used to have writers' rooms that would go on for months and months.
Yeah.
Now they're like a few weeks.
well, I feel like they've cut out a lot of the
Weeks.
filler.
You have to do production and you do all these things. There's just been all of these changes and these cuts and these like reroutings that have really made it what it is now. And I get with certain things, just like, hey, you just got to deal with the studio. You got to, this is what it is. This is the budget. This is the scheduling. This is when we can get the director. This is when we can get the stars. This is when we, there's all of these moving, working parts. And I know this as, someone that's in the industry, but as speaking as a fan of a show and separating myself from all of my industry knowledge, why are you making me wait 3 years?
Right.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Outlander, and Outlander's kind of really bad about making you wait a year plus every single season. But in their defense, and I also think like Euphoria, been waiting for the next season of Euphoria. There's a lot of very dense storylines, whereas and don't hate on me, but you can, things like your CW shows like Smallville and things like that. Sometimes the plot lines are recycled and redone just for like here's a filler episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of filler.
And
Episodes,
yeah, and I think that that's shifted a lot in the current television shows.
Yeah.
Where you don't get as much filler. It's very dense, and it's you blink and you miss it. We're moving on. Like, let's go.
Yep.
So you're only getting 8 episodes, but you're taking out all of that recycled storylines and things like that, and that's great and wonderful. But it is, as a fan, you're like, come on,
Yeah.
I just want to know what happened.
And yeah, like you want to know, like you want to see where's develop. Is it like better than your your fan fiction fantasies? Like what's happening next? And it's also another thing that gets really frustrating as someone who loves TV and watching TV. Sometimes you get so invested in a show and it never fucking comes down.
Right.
Yep.
So like Eternal,
Like there were TV shows that I was watching and I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Like Black Cake on Hulu. Love that show. There's no fat on that. Like it's written so good, cast so well, acted so well. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is unlike other things that I see on TV. Yes. And then there was a lot of Caribbean representation. I have Caribbean roots, so I was like, what is that show that takes place in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was just so interesting. I just loved it. And then to read in the trades that it didn't get greenlit for season 2.
Yeah.
And they set up just such a great story. And, I'm still in my brain like, oh, what happens when they, when they fling this out? And they're like, they're not gonna. And it's just like,
Yep.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows on Hulu was Siren. It was, I love mermaids. Anything mermaid catches my eye. And literally it ends with one of the main characters like being allowed into like the mermaid like cove, and like he's gonna like be changed into a mermaid finally. He's been the love interest. They can finally like live as merman and mermaid, and boom, that's it. It's done. Series never came back. And it was like, no. But it's still really
I haven't
good.
seen Siren, but I think even knowing that, I think I'd still dive in because I've been very curious. I want to know what they do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a way where, when you deal with mermaids and the story of mermaids, you can, keep it flowery and romantic, but then also you can get a little dark with that.
And that's what they do too, which is great. I loved in Siren that they kind of added like these factions where you have like the more South Pacific mermaids. You've got the like Alaskan and like Arctic, and they look different, they behave different, they have different skills. They've had wars. It was a really cool show. I highly recommend it, but you just have to know going in it's not actually going to, wrap up with a nice little bow.
Yeah, it's not gonna wrap up.
Yeah.
That's so rough.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong answer here. It's kind of just a curiosity of your experience, judgment free zone, and answer as much or as little as you like. But what are your views and experiences regarding ghosts, the paranormal, and do you believe in aliens and lives on other planets?
I was over here like, oh shit, how controversy about the gay, and I was like, yes, it is. The aliens are in the ocean. I am going to repeat it again. They are in the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what I believe. Like, I'm saying in a joking way. But yes, I believe in them. They exist. We are not the only beings, smart beings, whatever, that exist on this plane, this universe, whatever you want to call it. We are not alone.
Yep.
I do believe they're in ocean. There's so much I could go into as to why I think that, because I didn't think that before, but then after seeing and watching those UAP hearings
Yeah.
Mm.
and digging more into it, because I was like,
Mhm.
what is this? What's this tic-tac thing you talking about?
Yeah. Well, even
What's
variety.
this
will
bullshit you
talk about
talking about?
Yeah.
And then looking at all these things and then looking at the interviews
Yes.
of the whistleblowers and other people that have revealed their faces and have not revealed their faces, and in their and like in the connections in between their stories,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and even in just like different countries and different things, just like there's certain things I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they disappeared out of nowhere. They came out the water and disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you think about, there's so much of the ocean that we cannot explore.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
They say we know more about
What
this
we can go
cosmos.
down a certain part. Like there's all of these things in our technology
Yeah.
where we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much of it we don't know. And that just sounds like a real convenience if I was a being from another planet
Yeah.
or another entity or whatever. And I am also here with my advanced technologies. And I know that these primitive beings like to get a pop in because they've tried to attack.
Yeah.
They tried to attack the UAPs, rather. Not saying the UAPs have tried to attack, but military have tried to shoot at them.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I would definitely take advantage of the fact that there's a whole part of the planet that they can't reach.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about like the ghost side of things, or maybe even like what happens after we die? Is there an afterlife?
I don't know what happens with the afterlife.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But as far as why I believe in ghosts, I sound so crazy. Yes, I believe in ghosts. I believe in ghosts as well. I believe in ghosts mainly because I've encountered.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid. And it was like one of these situations. Oh my God, I sound like such a nut, but I swear it. This is what happened. I was maybe like 4, maybe 5. It was late at night. So for 4 or 5, like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm watching like cartoons. I remember it was like Tom and Jerry something, and I'm like eating cereal. And my mom is on this side of me. She's looking in the mirror and she's doing her hair. Like she's putting rollers in her hair. She's doing this stuff. She's setting herself up ready because she's about to go to bed.
Mhm.
She has on her robe and she's doing this and the third. And then on this side of the room is the door to the room.
Yeah.
So I'm watching TV. My mom's here. Door to the room. And in my peripheral, I see something. I don't eat my cereal. I'm just kind of turn.
Mhm.
And I see a hand, right? Almost like reaching and then like looking like it wanted to turn off like the light switch that it was
Mhm.
like it was below, like it was about to turn off the light switch, right?
Mhm.
Sure.
Like the sleeve on the hand was the sleeve of my mom's robe.
Oh wow.
And the other thing that was weird is the hand was a white person's hand.
Interesting.
And in this
Yeah.
point in the house, everybody in the house right now is black.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you wearing my mom's robe? What is this mystery hand?
Yeah.
Are you about to turn off the light for real?
Yeah.
And I'm looking, and this is like really quick. And I'm like, about to say something to my mom. And I turn to her, and then I notice in the mirror, there's no reflection of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back, and I still see the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my mom, I go, Mommy. And she's like, what? And I was like, somebody's about to. And then the hand's gone.
Yep.
Interesting.
I shared my experience as well in a previous episode, but I love that you and I both kind of had that same like I know what I saw. Like
I know what I saw.
Yes.
Like, for sure. Like, I've been telling my mom this story for years.
Yes.
Like, I remember that night, like, my mom was like, what? Like, when I told her, like, someone's in the hallway, she immediately, like, ran into the hallway because she thought that someone broke in. She thought that
Right.
something happened.
Right.
And it was like the adults, like, took it very seriously. And they were like, all the doors are locked. All the windows are closed. You saw someone? I was like, I know I saw what I saw. I saw a hand. I saw a hand. It was going to turn off the light. It reached into the room.
Yep.
And the more like, because as a little kid, it's like, oh, you didn't see that. And it's just like, no. And I sat there and like rewinded what happened piece by piece and bit by bit and retold it and remembered other details as a child going, yeah, he was wearing this robe and he was doing this.
Yep.
And I was just like, and the more I explained it, the more I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. My aunt, she's retired now, but she was a pulmonary nurse, and she and I had a very long discussion of that kind of like, I know what I saw. And there's a lot of people that see like peripheral visions and things, but in my situation, I was just straight on looking right at this man, and he wasn't see-through. It wasn't smoky. It wasn't something in my eye. This man was standing right in front of me, and then he was gone. And I can tell you what color overalls he was wearing, work boots he was wearing, all of that. And my aunt explained that's how she has had experiences when she was working with like hospice patients, and that feeling of like, I know that I saw that person or that situation or that thing, and there's no question that was what I saw. In your case, that was that hand that I saw.
Do you ever sometimes feel like there's a presence?
Mm-hmm.
Like when that together, there's a presence?
Yes.
So wild extra story.
Yeah.
I worked somewhere that was it was a steakhouse, and it's like a historical monument in New York. Like it's really like it's been there since like the 1800s. And when I started working there, there was this room. There was a dining room, and it was like at the top of the restaurant. And I always felt a really eerie fucking feeling in that room. Always felt really weird, like something like I was never alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that room, particularly the other dining rooms, no one was there. No one was there. You didn't feel like someone was in the room with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This room, it felt like someone was in the room with you. And I would keep it to myself because I was like the new hire. So I didn't be like the girl that said, your restaurant's haunted.
Great.
But then one of my coworkers joked and he said, did you guys show her the haunted room?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, the what now? Because he's like, I felt it. Like I knew her like in my brain, but I wasn't going to be the one to be like, y'all got ghosts here.
Yeah.
But like, so yeah, as freaky as we sound, there is a phenomenon that's not being explained.
And there's a different feeling, I feel like, than just feeling like someone is looking at me, someone else is here, I'm not by myself, versus that feeling of something doesn't want me in this room. There's a different feeling, right?
I haven't felt that.
You felt like it did not want you there.
Scary.
Yeah. I have had experiences with that where it's like, I don't know why, but this doesn't feel right. I'm out. I'm gone. Yeah, most definitely. I'm thankful that you're being very candid with it. I think that a similar reaction to what you had at the beginning of the story, where it's like, I don't want to sound like I'm crazy, but I know what I saw. Like that's how I am as well. And personally, I think that God created everything, the universe and everything, and we wouldn't have the vastness of the oceans, the vastness of the cosmos, if we were the only ones out there. That's my opinion on the subject.
That was a good point.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not just, I don't think that the planets are just pretty little things for us to look at in the sky. I think there's more there. I think just mathematically, there has to be something out there. And like you said, with our oceans and things like that. And there's so much government stuff that we don't know or don't need to know that is going on as well.
I feel that there's just so much that hasn't really been explained or explored. Like, yes, there's been lots that has. You know what I mean? We're in a wonderful time and in a wonderful age of science and math and all that, discovery. Mm-hmm. But there's still a lot that isn't explored, isn't explained, or kind of like, brushed aside. Like, hey, let's not worry about that. Yeah.
It's like, I literally was scrolling just yesterday, and they have just found this new species of some kind of jellyfish, and it caught my eye because it looks like, and they named it, that it looks like a pig's butt. It's hilarious. But when you read through some of the article, they were explaining it's like in an area of the ocean that they thought absolutely nothing was there. Like they thought they'd already explored it, and now they've discovered this jellyfish lives there that we didn't even know existed. And
There's so much. Yeah, I mean, especially with the ocean.
what we have,
Like, I really kind of like, I don't take for granted the fact there's just like just so much unexplored.
Yeah.
That won't be.
Yeah.
Like that's like the other kicker. Like if we haven't explored it and we can't.
Right.
We can't get there.
Yeah. Well, just to wrap up anything, what's next for Brittany? What next do you have coming up?
Immediately, I'm celebrating my birthday. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Do you care to share what number? What level are we on?
I'm not sharing. You're gonna have to Google.
11:07.
Industry is freaking weird.
Happy 25th. Yay.
I know. It's my 22nd.
Never tasted alcohol before.
I was like, so I've never been to a bar before. And I'm gonna go to a bar for the first time.
My first legal drink.
I've never tasted tequila.
I mean, ooh, it burns.
Well, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, yeah. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. I'm trying to post more on TikTok. Don't judge me. It's my full name. BRITTANY MIRABILE, baby.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We so appreciate you coming on and sharing your experiences with us.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a blast.
Been awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love these.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that was our interview with Brittany. Gosh, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We really love talking to her and just being able to hear her insights, behind some of her experiences on set as well as some of it in her personal life,
Yeah, absolutely. We can't wait to hear what you guys think. Make sure that you're commenting here on YouTube, but also know that we are on all the other platforms as well.
Yeah. We're on social media, you guys. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We have a Facebook group. We're on Threads, Bluesky, what's the third one?
Twitter,
Yep.
There's now X.
Formerly Twitter.
TikTok.
We do have a TikTok now. Yeah, that's new to us. So basically, you'll find us in all of our handles. They're going to be at The Couple That Slays. A few that are different. Our TikTok is Couple That Slays Together, at Couple That Slays Together, and then our X, formerly Twitter account, is just at Couple That Slays. Character limits and everything. Just have us do that.
And we also have our Gmail, thecouplethatslays@gmail.com. Feel free to write in to us, giving us questions, comments, concerns. Maybe you have a future review that you would love to hear us do. Maybe you also have a future interviewee that you would love to have on our show. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. If you'd ever like to have us at a convention or maybe MC some things, we're open to all the possibilities here.
Yeah.
So,
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe you were interested in being an interviewee. Maybe you have a favorite horror movie that you would just love to come on and have a discussion with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. We appreciate all the love and support. From The Couple That Slays Together, I'm Brandon.
I'm Katie, and enjoy the horror.
The couple that slays together.